Hey everybody, Edo here, and this is Steam Court sent to me by the good folks at Tantrum House Games, and that's because this is up on Kickstarter right now. Now, when I was in college, I played two games all the time. I played a game called Egyptian Rat Expletive, and I played a game called Jerk, or President, or Scum, or Bum, or the person who loses gets to get everyone else their drinks, or whatever you want to call it. And it was a great college game, lots of fun, and essentially what they've done here is they've elaborated on, let's call it President, and added character powers and the ability to play with up to 10 players and special cards, so they just sort of leveled up the experience. If you've played that game, this is a great alternative to that game. It's fun, it's fast, it's easy to learn and explain, and I think that the powers and the little bits to it add to it. The steampunk theme, I dig, could be anything, but if you like steampunk and you like Jerk, this is a good game for you. And so, Ed, I've never heard of this game. What is this game you speak of? So, essentially, the way you play President is you have to have 3 or 4 players to start. I think they might even say 4 in this game. Right, so 4. And each person takes a seat at the table, and they take on one of these characters. There's the Alchemist, the Queen, a whole bunch of great characters, and this is the steampunk art. And each of them has a different special ability. But what's important is they have rank. And the object of this game is to be the highest rank. You want to be the one in charge, because if you're the one in charge, you get to take great cards from the people underneath you, and they have to take your terrible cards. So essentially, you're trying to work your way up the table. And the reason it was such a great game in college is the one at the bottom has to do everything for everyone else. But the way you play is you're going to actually deal out all of the deck, except for a hand. Depends on how many players, but you'll have an extra hand which doesn't go to anyone. So you're essentially dealing out most of the deck. And so let's just say we have different people playing, and what you're going to do, and this is probably a big hand, what you're going to do is you're trying to play, essentially it's trick-taking, but long trick-taking, where you're trying to control it as long as you can and get rid of your cards. Objective of the game, first person to get out. You want to get rid of all your cards. If you get rid of all your cards, you get the top spot. Then play continues to get the second spot, third spot, fourth spot. And you're going to do this by playing 1 of a kind, 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind. However many you play, the next people in the table, in the order of rank, have to better it. So, what does that mean, Ed? If I play, for example, 2 5s, that means that the next person has to play 2 6s, or 2 7s, or 2 10s. In this case, I will play 2 11s. So that was sort of awkward. 2 11s. And then the next person, well, they can't play 11, they got to beat it. Now, there's one character that lets you play an equivalent, which is pretty awesome character ability. But let's say this person does have it, they have 2 12s, I don't have it in here, they do it, they win, they get to start the next trick. And again, you essentially want to, like any great spades, hearts, any great trick-taking game, you're trying to look at your hand in order to keep everyone out. Now, there's some additional special cards in this game that are interesting. They have their split cards, which, okay, this is all super prototypey. I mean, this is like a piece of foam. So I'm sure the Kickstarter is going to have better quality stuff. But there's a split card that's the 3 or a 9, so that can be used in 2 places strategically. There is another one that's a split card. There's also the X, and the X can be played with any multiplier in order to sort of make it a triple or a double or quadruple. So you can say somebody's playing 3 11s. And I don't think I have a 12, but there's 3 11s, and if I look here, I'll find a 12 somewhere. Here's a 12. If I don't have 3 12s, I'd normally be out, but if I have an X, I could say, hey, this is 3 12s, and play it. So that's a nice ability. There's also essentially a trump card, which you can play, and you just win the hand. And so you're just working to play quickly, up everyone else, one-upsmanship, if you will, as you go around the table, and claw your way up. I mean, it's sort of fun to be, the jerk or the, mail boy or whatever the name of the game is, and work your way up. what is it in this game? I forget. It's the lowest of the low. Where is he? The T-Boy. The T-Boy is the lowest of the low. Now, and that's it. You play 3 rounds, and there's a victory point version where you get the most victory points and you win. Or actually, the one I prefer is if you end as the queen. If you end on top, you win. And I think that's a very interesting and compelling way to play, and it reminds me of essentially, the other game. Only other thing I would mention, and these are going to be standees with their who you are and the power in the back. So look at the Kickstarter page, lots of cool stuff. Last piece. This game supports 10 players in what I consider a very novel and fun way. I didn't have a chance to play it, but I thought it was great. Basically, you're playing, one side is like the aristocrats or the wealthy, and the other side is the rebels and the street scum. And essentially there's like a lower class and an upper class. So there's one table that's playing, like, say, 4 or 5 people, and then there's another table that's playing 4 or 5 people. So the lower people can win their way into the second table, or the higher people can fail their way down to the lower table. That's something really cool. Like, it's a cool thing to have the games going on at once and pop up and down. I'm going to think of a game where that's used in some crazy big way. But whatever. This is a cool game. It's very similar to President or Jerk or any of those titles. If you like that, you like this. Light, fun, easy, and fast to explain. The steampunk's fine, and, the components are nice and gives you a lot to do. So check out the Kickstarter, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Thanks.